Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 16 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Nikki Philippart. Nikki's from the Netherlands, and Nikki, I have a question for you. Are you as shocked as I am that none of these house guests know where Amsterdam is? It's insane, right? But anyway, thank you for watching, and if you want to be house guest of the day, send me a private message on YouTube. Alright, so yesterday, right at the end of the spoiler, we talked about how Frankie's grandfather passed away, and everyone was wondering, like, are they going to tell Frankie? Are they not? Because Ariana Grande had tweeted a few days ago that their grandfather didn't want Frankie to leave the house, so they weren't sure, like, what was, I don't know. It was crazy. But anyway, Frankie did end up receiving a letter from his family telling him about his grandfather's death yesterday, and his family told him, you should stay. And they told him what happened, and the funeral's on Saturday, but they're gonna wait until Frankie gets home to have a celebration of life. So he also got to send a message to his family, so that made him feel a little bit better. So Frankie broke the news to everybody in the living room, except for Caleb, who was asleep during all of this. I don't know why they didn't wake him up, but he was the only one who wasn't there, so he missed out on that bonding time. But everyone was really, really sweet to him, all comforting him. Frankie told a lot of cool stories about his grandfather, and then they had this nice, long group hug with everyone, except for Caleb, who was sleeping. So then after that kind of broke up, Zach goes off into the have-not room by himself. He is, like, bawling. He was just crying in there. He broke down, and it was, like, really sad to see, but you can tell he really cares about Frankie, so that's cool. So then Caleb finally wakes up. So Cody pulls him aside, and he, catches him up on everything that's been going on. So then it's Caleb's turn to comfort Frankie, and they go up to the HOH room, and Caleb's like, if there's anyone who knows about death, it's this guy. So, and he meant himself. So he told him, like, it's okay to mourn, be strong, it's okay to cry, do whatever you need to do. So it was, like, really nice. But then some of the things he was saying, it was just like, oh, Caleb. He did say at one point, quite frankly, that person isn't coming back. So, I mean, that's not really what you want to hear right after you find out about a relative passing away or a friend, but, Caleb doesn't always use the best choice of words, but I think in this situation he had really good intentions, so let's just let it slide. So then the conversation shift to Amber, of course. So Caleb was asking Frankie, like, oh, did Amber tell you about our date, blah, 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 blah. And then it moved on to one of the favorite topics that's been going around the house, Caleb's pickle plan. So we've already discussed how Caleb hates pickles. Well, it turns out that Amber feels the same way about bananas, but she loves pickles. So Caleb has come up with this plan. He wants to put a pickle inside of a banana peel and then give it to Amber. And this is supposed to show her that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. He's trying to teach her a lesson. So the only issue is, this is the only issue, he doesn't know how to reseal the banana peel. He wants it to be like an actual banana intact. So, like, she unpeels it and then she's like, this is a freaking pickle. So, I mean, they were laughing about that. At least it lightened up the mood a little bit. So, moving on. Brittany and Donnie had their final dessert date in the Beehive room last night because one of them is going home today. So, it was really sad. For me anyway. I'm gonna miss seeing that on the feeds. I thought it was cute. But Brittany was like, yeah, it's really bittersweet right now. I don't know if I should, like, be excited that I could be seeing my kids or, like, sad that I'm leaving the game or whatever. So it sounds like Brittany's still not really sure that she's going home. I don't know if they're gonna blindside her or what. It kind of seems like Derek wants to blindside her. So if Derek wants it, then it's probably gonna happen. But last night was the night of pranks. Zach was feeling bored again, so, he got to work. He hid behind the storage room door, and then when Amber went to open it, she heard a thud, which was Zach, and he was like, oh my god, Amber! He had like a ketchup packet, you know, the old ketchup bloody nose thing, and she actually fell for it at first, and then Cody was like, don't believe him, he's messing with you. It was pretty funny. And then Zach was trying to prank Nicole, and he wanted to grab her leg through the HOH room stairs. That's scary. But I'm pretty sure Big Brother said no, because I thought it went to Fish when this was all going down. It was weird because the feeds were on Fish, but After Dark was still like playing. It was weird. But I don't think he got to go through with it because Nicole could have fallen down the stairs and that would have been bad. But there were more pranks. Some of the girls, I think it was Victoria and Brittany, put Vaseline on Derek's bed, and he was like super pissed about it and not cool at all. And then he got them back by shoving shaving cream in their face and in their hair in the HOH room with Cody and Zach. So, I mean, it was fun. They were a lot cooler about it than he was with the Vaseline in the bed. So moving on, Frank gave a eulogy last night during Big Brother After Dark for his grandfather, and it was kind of like a unique situation. He had 20 minutes of Big Brother After Dark. He was alone in the HOH room, the camera stayed on him, and, you know, he was talking about his grandfather and his family. He read the letter from home out loud, and he was trying to justify to everyone watching why he was staying. He wanted to make sure he got that chance to explain what was going on and what he was feeling, you know, so that people wouldn't jump to conclusions and everything. And he said how he wants to use the money that he wins from Big Brother to build more schools in Africa, and he's planning on naming them after his grandfather. So that was cool. And I mean, there was a lot of debate about this eulogy online, on message boards and stuff. And I don't mean to be like the morality police or anything right now, because I'm totally not, but I mean, some people were saying that like he was milking his grandfather's death and he was using this eulogy to promote himself and like promote his Instagram and his Twitter. And while he did mention his Instagram and his Twitter, I don't think that's very nice to say. Grief is you know, everyone grieves differently, and I don't think it's right to make mean comments like that about it. He's in a really tough situation being away from his family. He can't talk to them. He got a letter from them, and then he can talk to them through the camera, but he's not going to hear back from them. So it's tough, and I think a lot of people forget that these are real people, and they have real lives outside of the house. So I think, you know, people need to be a little more sensitive about that. But I'm sure that this eulogy that he gave was very comforting for his family and his friends and people that he's close to outside of the house. And we have to remember too, he is like, he has a pretty big fan following from YouTube and everything. So like, when something like this happens, people want some sort of like explanation or like comforting, you know? It's different because he has that fan base already. I'm not saying that like he's a celebrity and he deserves all this extra whatever, but you know what I mean? Alright, so moving on. Just to close that part off, you can tell just by the way that he talks about his grandfather. They were very, very close and he really looked up to him, so I thought it was sweet. Moving on. Jocasta was sick again last night. She was like pukey, and I don't know if it was something she ate or whatever, but we'll see how she's doing today. Overall, it was a pretty calm night last night. It was kind of a somber mood. I mean, they had the pranks here and there, but nothing earth-shattering happened. No real shifts in the gameplay. It's eviction night, and it looks like Brittany is definitely going unless something crazy happens in the last few minutes before the show. And it could be another unanimous vote. There has been some talk about Caleb and Amber voting for Brittany to stay, but I think Derek is kind of like, hello, everyone's voting Brittany out, so you don't want to go against the house. So it will probably be a unanimous vote. And of course, with an eviction, there's always an HOH, so we should have some new HOHs by the end of the episode, unless it's an endurance. Let me know in the comments who you want to win. Of course, I'm rooting for Donnie, and I think my second person would be maybe like Joe Costa, just because I want a freaking power shift, okay? Thank you. So until tomorrow, much love.
Edit.